On the news tonight, Governor Sheriff Oborowori inaugurates 4.4 kilometers Emevo Orogun Phase 1 road. Delta State Civil Service Commission commences the monitoring exercise of government officers. Senate passes the 8.5 trillion naira supplementary budget for Federal Capital Territory Administration. Abroad, Hamas United Nations resolution to end war with Israel in Gaza. Good evening. Welcome to Delta TV Main News tonight. My name is Francis Ofulue. Governor Sheriff Oborowori has said his administration has released 1 billion naira to the contractor handling the College of Health Sciences at the Delta State University of Science and Technology, Ozoro. Governor Oborowori disclosed this while inaugurating the 4.04 kilometers Emevo Orogun Phase 1 with 5.55 kilometers accompanying side drains at Emevo in Isoko North Local Government Area. The report.
I want to make a promise. Directing the commissioner for once, rural and riverine, to stop the second phase of this road.
The governor who commended his predecessor, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, under whose administration the first phase of the project was awarded, appreciated the people of Emevo and the Isoko Nation at large for their support and announced approval for the second phase of the project.
This is a testament that our more agenda is on us. It is another promise made from his head. Also, I want to let you know that in Isoko land, I've also given the contractor who is constructing the new faculty of health sciences, Professor Science and Technology, Ozoro, over 1 billion.
The member representing Isoko Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, Honorable Jonathan Okodiko, and his counterpart in the State House of Assembly, Honorable Bernard Odion, expressed gratitude to Governor Oborowori for the development strides in Isoko Nation, particularly the College of Health Technology, Obrode. The lawmaker said the Emevo Orogun Road had been a great challenge to the Isoko people and pledged support to the state government. Charles Anyago lauded the contractor for the good delivery of the project. He said the entire stretch of the road to Orogun, when completed, would be a dream come true.
This project, like I said earlier, is a 4.04 kilometer stretch, with a 5.555 kilometer length of drains. So in which case, we have also been able to take care of front drain along this corridor. So at the end of the day, not only that the road will last that long, but it has protection along this particular road.
In his remarks, the President General of the Emevo Progress Union, Comrade Teddy Edosu, and the Chairman of the Delta State Hospitals Management Board, Dr. Oborowori for appointing sons and daughters of the community into positions and for expediting action on the roads. Ejime Uduime report.
And the agencies of the state have been charged to work and abide by the state civil service rules to ensure effective and efficient service delivery in the state civil service. The chairman of the Civil Service Commission, Lady Rosalyn Amyoku, gave the charge during the commencement of this year's monitoring exercises of MDAs held at the Professor Chike Dozier Secretariat, Asaba. Gift Unosha reports.
Inoku said the exercise was to interact and monitor the activities of civil servants in various MDAs in the state to ensure they acquainted themselves with the state civil service rules. She said the monitoring exercise was the Civil Service Commission's statutory duties and obligations and frowned at the poor attitude of some civil servants in the state towards their duties. Lady Ameku warned civil servants against engaging in double jobs, earning double salary or absconding from duty, and urged permanent secretaries to report any officer who indulged in such activities. She commended the permanent secretaries for their cooperation and commitment towards improving the state workforce and urged them not to relent in working in line with the state civil service rules to foster development in the state. In his remarks, the General Manager of Rural Water Supply and Sanitation Agency, Mr. Clement Adiotomre, commended the Commission for the exercise, saying it will enable civil servants acquaint themselves with the state civil service rules. He pledged support to the state civil service.
We are so happy that you have brought us here. Thank you for this refresher course you have just given us. We are very grateful. I will promise you that we will make you happy.
The event featured interactive section. Gift Unosha reporting.
Former President Goodluck Jonathan today joined President Bola Tinubu to build a democracy that will reduce frictions after elections, describing the avalanche of litigation that follows elections in the country as embarrassing. The former president also warned that democracy is built on ethnicity, and religious violence does not endure. Speaking as the chairman of Democracy Day public lecture with the theme 25 years of enduring democracy, prospects for the future at the Old Banquet Hall, Presidential Villa, Abuja, Dr. Jonathan noted that in the last 25 years, Nigeria has built an economy that was once the biggest economy in Africa. He said that the country's democratic consolidation has not been an easy one, adding that for democracy to yield dividends, the political actors must change their flamboyant lifestyle. Dr. Jonathan, who emphasized the need to strengthen state institutions in order to strengthen democracy, condemned what he described as politics where the winner takes all, saying that it is not healthy in a democratic system. The former president advised the National Assembly to look at a governance model that can suit the country in order for the people to benefit from the needed dividends. The Senate has passed the 98.5 billion naira 2024 supplementary budget for the Federal Capital Territory Administration. The Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, announced the passage during the plenary today after the consideration and adoption of a report of the Committee on FCT on the supplementary budget by Senator Mohammed Ibrahim, representing Yobe South. Before the consideration of the report, Senator Ireti Kinigbe had raised the point of order to officially lay complaint in her exclusion from the activities of the committee on the FCT, of which she is a member. Her point of order was noted by the Senate President, who further advised her to, in accordance with the rules, communicate her complaints and present them before the House via a motion. The bill was initially passed by the House of Representatives last week. President Bola Tinubu recently presented the bill to the Parliament, reminding the lawmakers that the money was needed to address critical infrastructure in the nation's capital, not captured in the 2024 budget. The National Assembly will soon transmit the Southeast Development Commission SEDC bill to President Bola Tinubu for assent. This followed the adoption of the conference report of the SEDC bill by the Senate at plenaries today. The adoption of the report followed the consideration of the conference committee report on the bill, presented at plenary by the chairman of the Senate Committees on Judiciary, Human Rights, and Legal Matters, Senator Mohammed Mungunu, APC Borno North. The bill titled, "A Bill for an Act to Establish the Southeast Development Commission," charged with the responsibility of, among other things, receiving and managing funds from allocation of the Federation account for the construction and rehabilitation of roads, houses and other infrastructural damages suffered by the region as a result of the civil war, as well as tackle the ecological problems and any other related environmental or developmental challenges faced by the southeastern part of Nigeria and for related matters 2024. The bill to establish the commission was passed by members of the 8th Senate, but former President Muhammadu Buhari did not assent to it. The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, and some other lawmakers from the southeast reintroduced the bill in the lower chamber last year. The federal government has said Nigerian passports will henceforth be respected at foreign borders after being integrated into the International Civil Aviation Organization Public Key Directory and Public Key Infrastructure. The Ministry of the Interior stated this today in a social media post to reply to a tweet by a travel content creator, Mr. Tayo Aina. On Monday, Mr. Aina made a promotional video for a St. Kitts passport that he got for $150,000, allaying fears about exploring the world with his Nigerian passport. The president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, Comrade Joe Ajera, says the organized labor will await the decision of President Bola Tinubu on the proposal submitted to him by the Tripartite Committee on Minimum Wage. Comrade Ajera ruled out any industrial action till the president makes his stance known on the two proposals presented to him on the new minimum wage for workers in the country. While Labour insisted on 250,000 naira as a feasible living wage for workers, the other side, the federal and state government, as well as the organized private sector, proposed 62,000 naira. The Tripartite Committee submitted the two proposals to the President on Monday through the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, SGF, George Akume, hours after the submission of the reports containing the two proposals to the President. Ajero said the organs of the NLC and the Trade Union Congress, TUC, would decide the next line of action after the President's nod on any of the two proposals. The NLC chairman spoke in Geneva, Switzerland, at the International Labour Conference. Comrade Ajero said the two reports have been sent to the President, and then the NLC will wait for the next line of action based on how the President handles this matter. He stressed that the NLC will not have its position forwarded to the President and go ahead to take certain actions. Comrade Ajero also took a swipe at the state governors under the umbrella body of the Nigerian Governors Forum for saying that 62,000 naira minimum wage proposal by the federal government was unsustainable. The National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, has attributed the shutdown of the registration portal for Batch B prospective Corps members to a technical glitch. In a statement today by its Director of Information and Public Relations, Mr. Eddie Megwa, the NYSC said the portal was closed after reaching the maximum number of registrations required for the incoming batch. Mr. Megwa apologized to prospective Corps members who could not register before the portal was shut down, assuring them that the portal would be reopened for Batch B Stream 2 on a date to be announced later. The NYSC also dismissed a press release circulating online which claimed that the registration deadline had been extended. It warned that anyone caught issuing or sharing false information about NYSC operations would be handed over to law enforcement agents for prosecution. You're watching Delta TV with news at 8. Still to come, Hamas accepts United Nations resolution to end war with Israel in Gaza. Stay with us. Government special announcement. 3 million technical talents, 3 MTT program by the Federal Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy. It is hereby announced for the information of the public, particularly Deltans, that the Federal Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy is organizing a 3 million technical talent 3 MTT program for youths, graduates and non-graduates alike from 18 years of age and above in the following skills set areas: artificial intelligence, AI, and machine learning, cybersecurity, software development, cloud computing, data science, UI/UX design, product management, and more. In the light of the above, the Delta State Ministry of Science and Technology urges Delta youths to seize the opportunity to join this initiative, which aims at training 3 million Nigerians in technical skills and also create 2 million digital jobs by 2025. Successful candidates will have access to local and international job opportunities and will also receive monthly stipend for 1 year. Application is open to Delta youth through the following link: https:/fellow.3mtt.training for all entries. Signed, Teresa Adiabaliko, Director of Public Communication, Permanent Secretary.
Don't worry, we'll talk later, yeah?
Buddy,
How far?
give me small spot, I beg. Make I play game, I beg.
Oh, yeah, now.
Thanks, G.
Yo, season 5 don't come out.
But the Afan, I got you.
Buddy, I beg, make I connect, I beg. I need to stream.
Enjoy 100% data bonus with night data. Dial *312# to enjoy.
Power your relentless ambition with ultra-high-speed data.
Glow Unlimited.
Delta TV main news at 8. The global scene is next as we join our world news desk.
A senior official of the Palestinian militant group said today that Hamas has accepted a United Nations resolution backing a plan to end the war with Israel in Gaza and is ready to negotiate details with what the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken called a hopeful sign. But Qatari and Egyptian mediators have not received formal replies from Hamas or Israel on the UN-backed truce proposal, and both sides suggested today that the plan fit their clashing goals, raising doubt whether any genuine headway towards a deal has been made. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said in Tel Aviv after talks with Israeli leaders that discussions also touching on post-war plans for Gaza will continue over the next couple of days. Mr. Blinken met Israeli officials today in a push to end the 8-month-old Israeli air and ground war against Hamas that has devastated Gaza, a day after President Joe Biden's proposal for a truce was approved by the United Nations Security Council. Ahead of Mr. Blinken's trip, Israel and Hamas both repeated headline positions that have scuttled previous rounds of truce mediation, while Israel has pressed on with assaults in central and southern Gaza, among the bloodiest of the war. Mr. Biden's proposal envisages a ceasefire and phased release of hostages in exchange for Palestinians jailed in Israel, ultimately leading to a permanent end to the war. President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, was today convicted by a jury of lying about his drug use to illegally buy a gun, a verdict Democrats may seize upon to counter Mr. Donald Trump's claim of a justice system weaponized against him. A 12-member jury in Wilmington, Delaware, federal court found him guilty on all 3 counts against him, making Mr. Hunter Biden the first child of a sitting U.S. president to be convicted of a crime. Malawi President Lazarus Chakwera has said the wreck of a plane carrying vice president has been found with no survivors. Salos Chilima and 9 others were flying within the country yesterday morning when their aircraft disappeared from airport radars. The plane, a military aircraft, was flying in bad weather. Soldiers have been searching Shikangawa forest overnight and into the money in an effort to find the plane. In a news briefing today, President Chakwera said the Malawi Defense Force commander informed him that the search and rescue operation had been completed and the plane was found. Mr. Chakwera said he was deeply saddened and sorry to inform Malawians of this terrible tragedy.
Words cannot describe how heartbreaking this is, and I can only imagine how much pain and anguish you all must be feeling at this time.
He said the rescue team found the aircraft completely destroyed. The vice president and president come from different parties, but the two teamed up to form an alliance during the 2020 elections.
Let's join our business news desk for latest in the business sector.
The Central Bank of Nigeria said there were no plans to revoke the operating licenses of Fidelity Bank, Wema Bank, Polaris Bank, and Unity Bank. The acting director of corporate communications of the CBN, Mrs. Hakama Saidi Ali, stated this in a statement, noting that rumors of a plan to revoke the licenses of the banks were false. She also noted that a circular issued by CBN on January 10 notifying the public about the dissolution of the boards of Union, Keystone, and Polaris banks was being recirculated as though it was issued on June 10. The acting director blamed unscrupulous people for the development aimed at creating panic in the system. Mrs. Sidi Ali reassured members of the banking public of the safety of their deposits, stressing that the banking system was resilient. She emphasized that the defunct Heritage Bank was an isolated case, adding that allegations of further revocation of licenses prior to the completion of the bank recapitalization exercise were mere fabrication of those who did not wish the banking sector well. In furtherance of its commitment to monetize Nigeria's vast natural gas resources, the NNPC Limited has executed a project development agreement (PDA) with Gola LNG for the development of a floating liquefied natural gas (LNG) offshore Niger Delta. A statement by the Chief Corporate Communications Officer of the company, Mr. Olufemi Soneye in Abuja today said the signing ceremony was attended from the NNPC Limited side by the Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Umaru Ajia, Executive Vice President, Gas Power and New Energy, Mr. Olalekan Oguleye, and Executive Vice President, Upstream, Orishe Meyiwa Enyison, while the Gola LNG team was led by the Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Carl Frederick Staubo.
Now back home, the State House of Assembly Joint Committees on Health, Agriculture and Natural Resources will on Thursday at noon hold a public hearing on a bill to amend the regulation of Private Veterinary Clinics Law 2006 at the Press Center, Assembly Complex, Asaba. In a statement signed by the Chairman House Committee on Health, Honorable Ferguson Owo, the Joint Committees has requested for written and oral inputs from the State Ministries of Health, Agriculture, Natural Resources and Justice, as well as the Nigerian Veterinary Medical Association, Delta State Chapter, civil society organizations and other stakeholders from the public and private sectors. The statement enjoined interested individuals and organizations to submit 12 copies of the memoranda on the bill, enclosed in sealed envelopes, and should be addressed to the Chairman, House Committee on Health, on marked Regulation of Private Veterinary Clinics Amendment Bill. It will be recalled that the State House of Assembly, during its sitting on May 11, referred to the bill to the House Joint Committees on Health, Agriculture and Natural Resources for further legislative action. The federal government has declared tomorrow, June 12, as a public holiday to commemorate this year's Democracy Day. The Minister of Interior, Mr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, in a statement congratulated Nigerians on the celebration. He urged Nigerians to remain steadfast on the tenets of democratic governance. Mr. Tunji-Ojo reiterated that President Bola Tinubu was committed to positive reforms to revive the nation's economy and enhance security. The minister also called on Nigerians and friends of Nigeria to appreciate the progress that has been made so far and look forward to a better future for Nigeria's democracy. And now a carton of drugs belonging to one Mr. Frank Ojie has been reported missing. The owner, Mr. Ojie, said he discovered the items missing in a tricycle popularly known as Keke while on transit from Izine Junction to Ibuzo Road, Asaba. Anyone coming in contact with a missing carton of drugs or has information on how it can be recovered has been requested to contact the Public Relations Unit of the Delta Broadcasting Service, Asaba, or call 0808 045 3968 or 0703 233 3676. A reward awaits anyone who assists in locating the items. And now, sports. The Minister for Sports Development, Senator John Eno, has summoned the hierarchy of the Nigeria Football Federation over the worrisome performance of the Super Eagles in the ongoing 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. A statement by the minister described last night's 2-1 loss to Benin Republic as unacceptable and has demanded technical report from the NFF. The minister, who was disappointed with the team's performance, said the president, Bola Tinubu, was not happy with the team's performance despite the immense support and investment made by government since May last year. Senator Eno said the government and the Nigerian fans needed explanation on the dismal performances, asserting that the federal government would not hesitate to wield the hammer as it can no longer allow a select group of people to hold Nigerians to ransom due to their ineptitude and poor performances. He explained the government expected the team to perform optimally, especially when the quality of players that are bound within and outside the country was really high. And still talking sports, the Nigerian Premier Football League (NPFL) has fined Eyimba Football Club of Aba and some of the club's players following their part in the abandonment of the top-of-the-table fixture against Rangers in Enugu on Sunday. Eyimba players staged a walkout after a stoppage time penalty was awarded to host Rangers with a score at 0-0 in front of a packed to the Raffles Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium. Some of the Eyimba players harassed the match officials, and the incident led to a pitch invasion by fans taking advantage of the loose security arrangement. In a letter to Eyimba dated June 10 and signed by the NPFL Chief Operating Officer, Davidson Owumi, the league body listed several breaches of its rules by Eyimba, which brought the game into disrepute. The NPFL said Eyimba violated Rule C9 by failing to ensure the proper conduct of their players, officials and supporters. The club was also cited for breaching Rule B623, which is disrupting the transmission of a live match. The NPFL also accused Eyimba supporters of throwing objects onto the pitch and encroaching while the match was still active. It further alleged that the club also violated NPFL's Rule C11 by refusing to continue the match in protest against the penalty awarded to their opponents, an act deemed against the principles of fair play. In its ruling, the NPFL imposed a series of punitive sanctions on Eyimba, including a fine of 1 million naira for failing to ensure the proper conduct of their team, a fine of 5 million naira for disrupting a live broadcast, a fine of 1 million naira for throwing objects onto the field of play, and a fine of 1 million naira for encroachments onto the field of play. And now, our thoughts for the day. The only way to achieve the impossible is to believe it is possible. And that's the news, but before we go, a quick look on our major stories. Governor Sheriff Obodewori has said his administration has released to the contractor handling the College of Health Sciences at the Delta State University of Science and Technology, Ozoro. Governor Obodewori disclosed this while inaugurating the 4.404 kilometers MFO Rogu Phase 1 with 5.555 kilometers accompanying side drains at MFO in Isoko North local government area. Ministries, departments and agencies of the state have been charged to work and abide by the state civil service rules to ensure effective and efficient service delivery in the state civil service. The chairman of the Civil Service Commission, Lady Rosalyn Amioku, gave the charge during the commencement of this year's monitoring exercises of MDAs held at the Professor Chike Edozian Secretariat, Asaba. The Senate has passed the 98.5 billion naira 2024 supplementary budget for the Federal Capital Territory Administration. The Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, announced the passage during the plenary today after the consideration and adoption of a report of the Committee on FCT on the supplementary budget by Senator Mohammed Ibrahim, representing Yobe South. And from the foreign scene, we reported that a senior official of the Palestinian militant group said today that Hamas has accepted a UN resolution backing a plan to end the war with Israel in Gaza and is ready to negotiate details in what the U.S. Secretary of State called a hopeful sign. And that's the news. Many thanks for being part of it. My name is Francis Ofulue. Have a lovely evening. Good night. /fellow.3mtt.training for all entry.